Mellotron settling the groove.
Dialogue like velvet, see the wisdom as it moves. Threading coming round through the tapestry of sound. Casual combo circulates the globe, every voice in view renowned. Balancing the ledger, counting feelings in the sense. Elevating indie dreams, spotlighting each sentence. Bridging worlds with empathy, fluent in the truth. Finance to family, to mental health pursuits. No echo chamber, just reflections in the glass. Connecting dots from present pains to futures built to last. Every episode is sight for unity in subtle blends. Cocos in the rhythm, universal in the end.
Having that casual convo so you don't have to have the tough combo.
Let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I'm your host, Coco, and I have with me who's behind the what is it called? The picture, Baltimore's finest, best artiste to me in the world, the Jude.
Hey y'all.
And then below we have the mayor of Asheville, Sir King Paul, Mr. More Than You Can See.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
With Mr. One, who may join us a little bit later, Mr. Q, the semantic antics. So how y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Iconoclad. Don't get the iconoclad. Hey,
And so we have a lot. So tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of things. I think that's an important topic of discussion for tonight. We have a lot of children going missing. I mean, it's been happening for years now, but I think over the last few months, it's been like really extreme all over the world, and I'm seeing it a lot here in Baltimore. Just seeing the different posts for like kids coming out missing and everything else. I feel like we can talk about that, and then we also had the singer guy David that was finally arrested for the young girl Celeste Rivas, and then we're going to talk about some communication, and we're going to tie it all together. How that sound?
Sound like a plan to me.
yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi, Daytrick. All right, so I guess we're gonna start with the mental health check-in. Always gotta check on the mental health. I'll go first because mine gonna be quick. I'm good. I'm been getting some sleep. You know, my diet picking up, but I'm eating good. So I'm good. I'm gonna say my mental health been good.
Mine is on the fence, but it's a new week and it's a new day. So yeah,
Well, I don't know what to say after that fine mental check-in by the Jude. I don't know what to say. But I'm gonna say my mental health is it's all right. It's all right. I'm not stressing nothing today. I went and did my physical therapy today, got that out of the way. Went to the housing authority meeting, checked on what they got going on. And just been chilling. I know cause tomorrow I really don't have no stressing day. So yeah, I'm pretty good tonight.
Okay, so since we have a lot to discuss, y'all want to dive right into it.
yep, I'm
Cool.
ready.
All right, so up first, again we talked about. I mentioned how I want to get your thoughts on the children going missing. Especially there's a lot of children under the age of 16 that's been going on over the last 2 months. There's been several young girls that has been missing. I know, especially here, I can mainly speak for where I'm from. In Baltimore, I've been seeing it up and down my timeline, and even right before the show, a little boy that was 14 was also shown as being missing. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on how y'all feel about the number and the alarming rate, especially young Black children. Of course, all children go missing, but you know, how do y'all feel about it?
I feel like they with the kids going missing. I feel like the kids period they need to change some of the law, the rules and the laws and things. I know that they do that 24-hour hold if the kid, might have ran away and something like that. But um I think that the crimes towards children are way too light. I feel like it only gets serious like when like you get kind of looking bad. And I don't know, it's just my observation. It seems like they give everybody a hassle when these kids go missing. It's starting to feel like it is like some kind of like organized system that's doing all this, because there's some stuff that was going on for a long time. I mean, and then to just like disappear without a trace when there's all these cameras around the world, it's just starting to be, like kind of like this ain't like back in the day. There's too many cameras for like things to be for kids to go missing, people to go missing. It's a whole TV show dedicated to catching crimes on camera. Like I don't understand how it's so many in the area where I mean, and why y'all not teaching? Why y'all not more vigilant? Not trying to put shame or blame on the person, but like it's the women, like not the children, but the grown-ups that's missing. I see a lot of people in their phones. I'm guilty of it sometimes. Walking in areas, looking down at my phone. The day I was carrying a bunch of bags, I was just thinking like, dang, I'm easy lit for real. When I ain't got no hands to defend myself. Like you gotta take stuff like that into consideration when you are out here in this world. It ain't about being afraid. It's about being cautious. And being a woman out here, it's hard. So we living alone, um, getting in your car late at night, going to the store late at night. When it comes to parents teaching their kids, parents not teaching their kids, not saying all, but not teaching their kids, the stranger danger, but they still doing that in school, stranger danger and the dare and all that stuff. Like, the neighborhood used to watch out for the kids. It just ain't like now. I don't know. It's different. It shouldn't be so easy to snatch your kids nowhere because it's too many cameras. Every house got a camera. The city line the city with cameras. The state then line the highways and stuff with cameras. Why can't y'all find where a person was taken from and follow the trail like the other countries do?
I
That's all I
agree.
got to say.
No, I agree, and I think that a good point was made when you said about because I remember I don't know they still got the crime dog. Remember they used to have the crime dog come to school, then you had like the officer friendly.
Yeah.
I do agree that like the community was a big thing for us back in the day. That kids went missing, but I don't think like it is now. And I do agree. Like a lot of times we have our like earpods and music, and I'm famous for it too, like how you stated. But when we see that the kids that's like going missing and at such an alarming rate. I'm gonna say within the last 2 weeks alone, like every day I was seeing like a different like young person and I'm like, well, what is going on? Like where are they taking them? And they, like with the whole sex trafficking thing and everything on the rise, it's like we really don't know. And this is like it's a hard pill to swallow when you see so many of them. And I'm only thinking about like not only the children well-being, but can you imagine what the families are going through?
What, the families of the victims trying to find the kids?
Yeah. But, you know, back in the day, kids could run away, you know, and they'd get found because they had truant officers and all that kind of stuff to track kids down. And that was up until the time that the Atlanta child murder started. Then kids basically stopped running away. But this country has been trafficking people. They traffic slaves into it. They are trafficking kids and women up out of it. These people are getting more brazen trying to snatch people up. They don't care. Like you say, you gotta be careful, especially you're a woman or a child by yourself, a young girl, something like that by yourself. Young boys too, they don't care. If it's enough of them, they are snatching people up and trafficking them. Because if they was killing people, as many people as really getting missing, they was killing them. And I mean, they ain't really no professional killers or nothing like that. Whatever, they can know how to just totally get rid of bodies, leaving no trace. Then they are trafficking these people, these kids, and that's why it's just you gotta be careful. You gotta stay on your p's and q's out here because people are just running up on people, snatching them up. They got little tricks where they put something on the money or something, stuff like that. You pick up the money and you pass out and all that kind of stuff. I mean, these people are devious, and our kids are paying the price by not paying attention. And the parents don't think it ever happened to them until it happens. It should be a talk that they have with these kids. Cause I let my daughter know, hey, you don't talk to people, you don't go nowhere with people, you don't do none of that. You keep your eyes up. Somebody try to do anything to you, fight, you run, scream, whatever you gotta do. You do what you gotta do.
I think it's
But
a
no,
bigger issue though.
the
Like
issue.
and I'm about to get to it. Like so, like this comment right here said, no kids are being brainwashed with games and the internet. That could play a part, but what we also can't negate though is a lot of times who are hurting these children and putting children in these situations to come up missing are people that's close to them or people that they trust, even down to like you see publicly, we got teachers, you got people at the church, you got people in the families, people are doing things for different. We are living in really truly malicious times where it's like nobody's really safe and children are so vulnerable and they may think, oh, because I know this person and they're like no traces and these people get close to the family members. And I mean, I know I said it before, I watch a lot of like court TV and crime shows and things like that. And it's usually the people that's closest to them that are like abducting them or putting them in situations where they can be snatched up. Thoughts before I bring in the other stuff. Q.
I'm gonna tell you like this before Q come in. Nowadays they getting it from every direction. So I mean, you can't pinpoint because there's so many different directions for them to get hit from. But the one direction they should be getting hit from at home is stay on your P's and Q's. If you by yourself, don't be stopping and talking and getting too close to people that you don't know and be aware of where you at. Always keep your head on the swivel. You got to. I be walking past these homeless people and I hear them talking to themselves. They got little weapons or sticks and so I gotta watch these people. You gotta keep your head on the swivel. Kids, women, you go into the grocery store at night. Jude said you go to the store at night. You ain't got nobody with you. Don't park so far away where you gotta be out of the light of the store doors. Cause you got people that's lurking. It's just crazy. But yeah, give it to the icon of the clan.
Yeah. Sorry I'm late. Stuck in traffic. It's been a hectic day since 6 a.m. Um, so yeah, there's a lot going on. There's kids being kidnapped, people, you know, having things on their doorknob, placed on the doorknob, like zip ties or whatever on the doorknob, and all of a sudden they wonder what's going on. Like, oh, why is this happening to me? Well, world's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. Like Paul said, like King Paul said, you got to have your head on the swivel. And street smarts. This is where street smarts come into play. And you can't let your guard down because you never know what if it can happen to you. If it does happen to you, what do you want to do about it? What can you do about it? It's just too much going on out here. And I wish people would stop. It especially these kids with these phones, they need to start looking up, looking around them instead of being buried, having their head buried in that damn phone. Because earlier today almost hit a kid because he almost walked out in traffic when I was coming. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, I didn't see you there. I know you didn't see me there. You had your head buried in your phone. You need to be aware when you go at a crosswalk, be looking around. Stop looking at your phone so much. Pay attention. You see what I'm saying? It's wild out here. It's like the zombie apocalypse, without any zombies. Social media and all these attention getting devices have taken the attention of these people, and it's gotten to the point where everybody's so focused on what is in front of their eyes instead of looking around to see what's actually around them. And then they end up wondering why. Well, how I end up in this situation? Why did I end up getting snatched up? Common sense, man. Street smarts. That social media post can wait. Your life can't.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about that.
we all guilty of it. I mean, I can be sometimes. I think also I never forget I had a friend of mine. I used to say the same thing to her because she would always just be on the phone and would leave out like real late at night by herself and things like that. So I'm like, oh, you can't go out by yourself. She's like, oh, I just got to get this from the store. But why you couldn't get it early? Or something. My thing is certain things can wait till later. Especially a lot of things happen to, especially like young women, women or older people. Period. Like at gas stations, anything like that. And then I know you're not paying attention. You just tipping, and whether you in your phone or just by yourself. You just never know. And I think it's just important for
Shoot.
everybody to be put on point. But it's something that I want to tie into this situation because you guys mentioned like runaways and things like that. So I wanted to get into also to tie this into it. I don't know if everybody's familiar with the singer David, but I didn't know about this gentleman until I don't want to call him a gentleman, but I didn't know about him until this story came out and it broke a couple of months ago. Anyway, the singer David, he was finally been arrested for murder and the mutilation of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. And then from the story topics, she was a runaway. Um, and then he was charged with, from what I got from the article today, he was charged with first degree murder with special circumstances of lying in wait, committing the crime for financial gain, and murdering a witness in an investigation. The witness was her because she was underage. She was under the age of 13, and they were. He's also charged with being lewd, with having lewd, and I can't say this word, lascivious acts with a person under 14, and mutilating her body. The special circumstances could carry the death penalty, though California's I cannot talk today. Well, California laws, whatever, on execution means the DA has not announced whether it will seek it. So I say that to say, when it comes to all of that, my one of my questions was, in reference to this situations, was during the time that she was gone, she wasn't, from what the story that I got, please correct me if I'm wrong, she was never reported missing by her family because she was a runaway and they knew she was with him. My thing was also at the time, if they had been involved, if the stories are correct of what's going on for like at least 3 years, which means she he murdered her when she was what, 13, because she was already deceased on her 14th birthday. So 3 years prior to that, that was like 10 or 11, and he had to be like what, 18, 19. Is like completely crazy. There's no way in the world. I mean, I would let my child, I don't care if I know who you are or not, live or be with someone of that age. So I say that to say, even though if a person has a child that's a runaway, that means you stop reporting or you stop caring, because then we have situations like this. So when we talk about kids who keep running away, running away, running away, what is some advice that y'all would give to parents whose children may run away, and also what are your thoughts on the situation? Paul.
Well, my advice not really for the the parent. My advice for the child is uh the child that like to keep running away. Like the thing is, because I told this to the kids in my family. One day you could go missing and no one would know because we would think that you are just running away. So the thing is, like a lot of people want to talk to the parents, but the parents not the one that's committing the act. It's the kids. You feel me? So it's really like as a kid, like we all been there. We all done thought about running away, or some of us have run away from our parents or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, you know, it could just be that one day where you playing and somebody snatch you up. Always let somebody know where you are. Like even if it's a friend, let somebody know where you are. Get somebody your locations. A lot of people don't want people to know their locations. But one thing the kids do though, everybody know where each other at. They giving each other location. Everybody on the little friend group thing and all that stuff. But to the parents, like stop being your kid's friend and kind of let them know like it's real out here. They know that. I mean, some of them do. If your kid ain't for the street, man, let them know like, hey, it's real out here. Y'all need to do what y'all supposed to do.
I mean, I definitely agree. I think also not only that, and you are right, because even I've been kind of following the story a little bit since it came out. A lot of her friends did know, and they were like speaking amongst each other, but nobody was going to the right people. So I would even say sometimes your friends know, when your friends making a wrong decision or something like that. So my message to especially children would be, if you know that's not doing right, I get you don't want to tell, but sometimes opening your mouth could save somebody's life. Because look at this situation. Everybody knew and nobody said anything. And then the fact that I guess the rumor mill is he was trying to he did what he did for fame and for money because since this case came out and when her body was found, his streams went up. So I'm looking at it like who listening to his music? Because to my knowledge, some of the songs were so oh my gosh. Little snippets that I saw from watching certain stories, I was like, oh my God. Like people really listen to this, singing it, and he was selling out concerts and everything else. And that says a lot about who's supporting him. You get what I mean? A lot about people.
Well, it's no different than R. Kelly, if you think about it. You know, a lot of people
But
like,
telling that he did something to somebody because the one song was named after her, and
mhm.
it was very gory.
Well, to your point, yeah, but if you listen to R. Kelly, um, certain songs were suggestive in nature. I never listened to R. Kelly. I was never an R. Kelly fan because I really don't listen to R&B like that because it's not really R&B. It's not. It's not really R&B. It's pop rap. Um,
Hey,
they don't have a lot of substance with that type of music because it's so sexually suggestive. Now, that's what the kids is gravitating towards. That's why everything going I haywire as far as be everything being oversexed, overexposed, whatever. Um, Parents need to stop trying to be these child's friends. They need to start being parents. Don't be your child's friend. You're not your child's friend. You're there to parent your child, to guide them in the right way. Now, what they do after they turn whatever, 18, 21, with their lives, that's on them. As long as you did the best you can do to keep them out of them situations. But if they get themselves in that situation, they knew better, and they did not do better, then that's on them. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I look at it two different ways. I get what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I do agree. Don't be your kid friend and all that stuff. But it's not even just those parents. These are kids that come from two-parent homes or parents who are actually parenting. And to that effect, people are just cruel. And you have some people who will stalk children, who will stalk women, who will stalk men, because even like older people are coming up missing, and all of that stuff. When it come to kids, it's not just about being your child's friend. We living in a world where people are literally targeting young children and ruling them in. And I will go back to what I said in the beginning. A lot of times, it's usually people that's closest to them. People who the child has built a bond with or trust. I've seen cases where it's the teacher. I've seen cases where it's the pastor. I've seen cases where it may be a friend of the family. Shit, hell, it's been cases where it's been the actual parents. We just live at a times where how much of a swivel can your head be on when somebody is low key plotting on you and you don't even know it. And then children are innocent. If they young and they like impressionable, they 5, 6 or whatever, they not thinking, oh, this person get ready snatch me up or sell me up to somebody else.
We're living in a world of religious people instead of them people being spiritual. So they live in their religious minds. Now, the thing back to David, that's that. I still don't see how he got that out of how he spelled his name, but anyhow, back to him. I would use any film, whatever, all this that's going on with him, that, and like you said, that's going on with teachers, that's going on with members of the family, get all this stuff together and get a documentary and take these parents that's on the risk of their kids wanting to run away and get them kids and take them kids and parents and sit their asses down in front of that documentary and let them know, hey, this is what you want, this is what you want talking about running away for, this is what you're looking for. That's for the parents and for the kids because as a parent, you got to be responsible for your kids. You got to let them know this is a cruel world out here. This world out here doesn't care nothing about you. It's already been shown they don't care if you out in the streets, if you're not out in the streets. This world is out here eating people up. And people are doing anything to get paid. Again, the human trafficking thing is a big thing now. If people try to snatch people right up off the street as they walk into school, whatever, they got cameras to see all this stuff here, but they ain't got no cameras to catch all these people. Now, if they really willing to snatch somebody up off the street, walking at the bus stop, crossing the street, anything, you can get gone, and nobody be able to know where you at because you gone. They done put you on the boat somewhere and you gone. I told you they ain't about killing. Back in the day, now you would have said, okay, it's the kids being killed, because that's what was playing in my mind back then with Wayne Williams and them. And I'm still not sure he done all of them, but still back in the day to him with the Atlanta child murders. All these kids, if that had been back then, all these black kids coming up missing like that, I'd say, oh, somebody murdering them kids, and bodies would be being found. But you're not finding no bodies. You're not finding no bodies. They're taking them kids. They're taking them and selling them.
That is true. Because none of them are being found and they become like cold cases.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Can I read a couple of comments or um anybody got anything before I do? Before I
Yeah,
wanted to know.
yeah. I
Go
want to
ahead.
say something about the David situation. When it first happened, I know he was dead. And like me and you had spoken on the phone this morning, the girl was underage in the first place. That should have been a red flag. And I know they got their investigations, and they probably took this long, put everything together. But the fact that she was what 13 at the time when it happened, you know, that alone should have been like, okay, something ain't right, And to have that, I don't know, man.
Got in the, whatever you got.
Oh, say again.
Mute whatever somebody had in the background.
That was me, my bad. Um, sorry about that. And as for, I think the parents have a lot of culpability into this also because kids won't run away. My daughter ran away. Kids run away, and you don't have the sense of urgency to find out. I don't care if she's a troubled child or not. That's still your child. You know, I don't care. So like with the R. Kelly situation, I think, the kids did what they did, but that's still, what were you doing as a parent? Where were you? You know? But I'm glad they got the guy, and I hope they put him under the jail. But then again, I'll just be glad to put him in there, because in California prisons, they'll get your ass for that. So that's where the justice will come when you go to prison.
Yeah, and Bosco, going back to what you said, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
With the R. Kelly situation, he dangled the carrot of fame
Yeah.
in front of these kids. These kids are very impressionable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is part of the problem.
Yep.
Those
It
kids
wasn't just him. Not to cut you off. It during them R. Kelly times, even when I was young, before I'm gonna say the whole social media started putting people on blast. Because even after R. Kelly got caught, most guys was celebrating and everybody was watching that video of whatever he was doing with them young girls. So when we say that, I think with that one and this one,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying one is different than the other, because no matter who you were, if you had a couple of dollars, I remember being in middle school and it was
Yeah.
guys 18, 19 pulling up in their legends, pulling up and everything, picking up girls, doing whatever. So we're not just gonna say this was that, because there was a
Oh
time
no. Oh no.
everybody thought that was okay. I mean, hell, look at Good Times. Thelma
Wait a
was
Yeah.
minute.
allowed
Hold,
to mess with older people and stuff like that. But when we talk about this David dude, what I'm
He was dead
all
ass
I
for
got
that.
to say is he was riding around with Shorty in the trunk.
that,
Exactly, Jude.
At the end of the day, regardless of what all that other stuff, that time, yes, she was a minor. Yes,
Right.
yes, he murdered her. But not only did you murder her, you was riding around with her in your car.
You know something, Jude? That's what me and Coco was talking. That's exactly what we said earlier today. Same thing, man. You are
Like,
right.
like you riding around with her in the car, like that's on a whole nother level. You feel me though? Like that's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you started selling merchandise with blood, and your number one song was named after her, and talking about
Right.
how you did what you did in your mind and all of this stuff. Granted, I'm not trying to take away from what you was saying. Yes, it's wrong, but this this boy was fascinated with gore.
Yeah.
Of
Horror.
gore. So,
Horrorcore.
but even I'm not trying to dismiss it, but we lived through times where being with somebody older was like celebrated, whether you was a male or female. Because I know a lot of dudes who brag about when they was like 14, 15, they was smashing 28, 30 something year old women. So it
Yeah.
goes both ways. It's not just the dudes. But I remember that. But when you talk about just dangling, sometimes you ain't even got dangle no curse. Even to this day, it ain't even about that. You see how many of these young guys and girls be stinking and dirty, and they still get all the play. So we
Yep.
can't say that's all that was that. But to like Drew's point was, you not only did you ride around with her, I ain't even going to, because I believe it was somebody else too. Y'all mutilated this little girl,
Yep.
cut her body up into pieces, and put her in two bags and left her in the trunk of a car.
Coco, and that's the problem right there. I don't hear nothing from his side. Da 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 da. And like Jude said, and you rode around with that girl in your trunk. You rode
And
around
parked
with
the
that girl
car
in
and
your
went
trunk.
on tour. Then parked the car and went on tour. But
Yeah.
so
Mm-mm.
that's
But
a real
hold
cold blooded person.
on, but then he announced the tour the day after he committed the crime. If the timeline adds up to what the DA put out there, right after they saying that she was her, they trying to say, well, allegedly the date that she met her demise, it was April the 23rd. He
Yeah.
announced his tour and was pumped up on April the 25th. And people have been going back to like his pages, seeing his tweets, seeing posts that he made. It was just he's he's more than sick to do what you did and then go off like that, and then you make it like nothing happened, and then you would just making money, and you the number one song that you was sing was about the girl that you took her life, and she was
Right.
old, y'all. first of all, and not going back to the comment section with Fallon when she was like, no man should find a young girl
Fallon.
that is attractive. But at the end of the day, no person, because there's a lot of older women who preying on kids too, these young boys too, because we seeing a lot of these ladies messing with these boys and propositioning them and all of this stuff. So this is like a big picture all around. What kind of mind do you have that you find a 10 or younger, or even any attractive
Yeah,
ways, or you like, oh yeah, I take that down. Ain't no
yeah.
way.
Hey, Coco. Um, Fallon's here this early?
And you know, my boy always in the building. Rich.
Hey, I got here late. Damn. But yeah, you're right. Um, I say I have no pity for him at all. That was egregious. It was on purpose. And what are you doing with a girl that young? What are you doing with a girl that young? I mean, you're right. How he blew up with that one song about her, the tour and all that. Nah, this is him. This is on him. I mean, the parents are culpable also for not giving a shit. Pardon my French, but this is on him. This is on him, and he deserves whatever he gets moving forward. I know they say, well, wait till he has his day in court. In my eyes, he's guilty. You rode around with that body, mutilated body, cut up. You got to be a real sick person to really sit there and cut up a human and then ride around with it in your car. Nah, man. Nah. Any man who does that, I'm speaking about men. I ain't speaking about women. I'm talking about any man who does that is sadistic, and I can't wait for you to go to prison.
All
I'm just
right,
being real, man.
everybody go on me. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge those who are watching and read some of the comments that's been coming and they've been very interactive. Um, First we're gonna start with Daytrick. Daytrick here every week on time. He be the first one. Daytrick said hello there, good folks. And then we have Bosco who clicked the link and he's up here. He said good evening. And then Fallon was like, hey y'all.
Right after
And
me.
then she was like, he demonic as, and then she said, I blame patriarchy. And then she said, a grown man should not find a child attractive. It's that simple, point blank into
Hmm.
the period. And
Hmm.
then she always said, I don't always listen to my, she said, I didn't always listen to my mother. So you can't always blame the parent. And then
Hmm.
my bro Rich, he said, what's up, everyone? And then Fallon says, is it true the parents took money? I think she was talking about the I can't I don't clarify that one, Fallon, so we know how to answer it. And then she said, sure was. And then Rich Richie Hicks Jr., shout out to the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. He said Kels posted up at high schools in Chicago. The with
Hmm.
Aaliyah broke up Rockefeller when Jigga went forward with the Best of Both Worlds tour. And yes, Coco, this has been going on for many years, all
Hmm.
over the place. It's not discriminatory to either sex. The little girl's terror is horrible, makes me want to vomit. And then when Basco asked, Fallon here, she said he said A and is, but hold on, let me forget before he have a fit because I gotta go here because that was just from my Facebook page. So let me go over to YouTube and y'all know J Jackson before he start being in my DM. He said, hello fam, I'm present. And then he said, hello Paul, Jude, Coco. And then he said, long time no more milk carton. Parents don't care, sometimes leave kids with strangers. No, kids are being brainwashed with games and internet. And then he said he's talking to Q. He said, "Where's your late pass?" And then he said basically he got the R. Kelly charge. And then he said, "Coco, how many times have the family reported she runs away?" To go into that one, there was several times. Me personally, as a parent, and I know most parents probably don't think like this. I don't care however many times you leave my house and I don't know where you at, you getting reported missing. I'm
Right
not going to
on.
let time slide.
Right
So
on.
then he said, it's like how many times the boy cried wolf, the police station might have plenty of reports, but they knew she would come back. That's not the Okay, you okay. And then he said, Bosco talking to you. Then he said, me being a dad, I'm still protective of my three, even my grandchild. Then he said, I promise you this will he said, I promise you this. Can you stop typing in all caps and put a period? He said, promise you. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. He
Oh no, I
said,
know, I know.
promise you this. Will you let Rambo if any MF touch mines? And then he also said, Rich talking to Richie. And then I think that was yeah, no wait a minute, it was one more. He said, hey y'all, this been going on for years. Y'all black or white, it just needs to stop. And then, hey Dion Reed 9296, shout out to YouTube, said, I wish some
What up,
adults
Dion?
would say they're attracted to my 16-year-old daughter. He better pray to God that if I don't get him, her father will before he finish. Period. Okay, so what else we got on
I
the
feel that
week?
way about my 22-year-old.
Right. I'm still one of those. I mean, I'm still one of those type of parents. I don't care. My oldest is 30, and
Right,
I don't see them for like even not even it ain't gotta be a whole day. I need y'all to check in. I need to know what's
right
going on
on,
because this is a
right
cruel
on.
world, and especially we got stuff like the Citizen app and all of these things going on. Soon as I see something happening, especially if it fit like the description or a 20-something-year-old male or woman or something like that, I'm
Yeah,
calling my kids and I need you to answer this FaceTime because I need to see you
right,
to make
right.
sure that it.
Yeah, my daughters know that anybody mess with you or you holler, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't care how old they get. They can be 50 and I can be 70. Yeah.
But then I look, you know how they show them coming into court or whatever. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
I could get invested in and stuff. And he looks dark. He looks like
Yeah.
whatever it is, what it is. He don't look like he have a care in the world. It's like
Mm-mm.
he has no sense of emotion or anything.
Remember what I told you the other day on the phone, Coco? He looks like he he looks like what you would think Kodak Black would be, but Kodak Black is just the opposite. But that's what he looks like. Like you said, he looks dark. He looks soulless.
He look
He
old.
look he look yeah, he looks soulless.
He looks like he about 30.
Yeah. I remember I thought he was that old.
Helen
I didn't
said
know
he
he was
got
just 21.
they just black like he has no soul. You ever see
No
when some
soul.
people
Who
has
looked
a
30? Kodak Black?
No, no.
no,
Nah, the guy David.
because when they showed him going in court today, he had on like a
Yeah,
black hoodie. Even on his mugshot photo, it's
yeah.
just like he had no emotion,
There's
no
nothing
nothing.
there.
It was just like, but he don't look worried, and he don't. You know how most of you facing the death penalty, he just like
There's nothing there.
it's just like whatever.
He's been
But he
playing in
looks
the dark
he
world.
looks
I
since
told
Yeah,
you
his
before. He's been playing in the dark world
yeah.
with
You got them dark
some
forces in him.
evil spirits.
Yeah, he don't care. He
Believe
don't
me,
have a care.
people don't
That's
believe
why.
that stuff exists. If you gonna cross
Hmm.
that line, if you gonna cross
Right.
that line, you gonna meet what you're looking for, and you gonna have to pay the price. And that's hey, that's why he look. That's why he looks soulless, cause he know his soul is gone. He jumped over into that world, wanting to do what he did. Just imagine, you would do this to a child, because that's what it was. You would do something like this to a child, and you would just ride around, not a care in the world, shit, living it up, partying, and you would go on about your business, leave that child in that car, go on about your way. You are a very evil person. You're evil. And in order for you to be that evil, you gotta be playing in the dark world. And you gotta pay. What you think, Q? Q there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I mean, I agree. If it, let it be. If it were my kid, I'm turning into Roy the Mayo. Seriously, ain't gonna be no. I'm calling the cops. I'm gonna handle it myself. I'm gonna do the Gemini method. Bosco know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, that dude would disappear. He would never be heard from or seen ever again in life. He may end up in a landfill because you touch kids. Um, that's automatic to me. That's automatic death penalty. Touching kids, even though several other entertainers had been doing that, like Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, um, you name it. They were touching kids. Jerry Lee Lewis was married to his 14-year-old cousin. Elvis Presley married Priscilla when she was 15. Still a kid. To me, they still kitty diddlers. And kitty diddlers need to get dealt with. That's just bottom line.
I agree. Jude, where'd Jude go? Y'all know Jude be at the
I'm right.
bottom.
I'm right here. Wait a minute, who we was talking about? Y'all kind of lost me a little bit.
No, we still on the same thing. The David dude. We was just saying how he looked like he was just soulless, and Q was just giving his spiel on
You
if it was
know,
about what he would do.
I didn't see David. I didn't see him. I don't think I paid no attention. I'm not gonna lie. I only seen the situation like here and there, like scrolling on TikTok a little bit. I didn't really like do a deep dive into it. But I just got like the basic details. People was giving their commentary on it. That he found that in the trunk and all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm gonna look him up. Wait, let me look him up. Hold up. I'm gonna come back to you on that. Let me see. What's his name? David who?
No, it's just David. It's the way he spelled his name. It's like D, the number 4, V, and then D. He's simple. But I don't get it. Can we tie in some other things that can probably kind of touch? Because I also
Oh,
wanted
the
to get
guy with the Wakanda necklace.
yeah. But he was also wearing like they said his shows. Now, mind you, when he announced the tour, when he went on tour at his concerts, he would bring up caskets on the stage, and then he would wear shirts that looked like it was splattered in blood. So that was like his attire, his merch, and things like that. And people was like going up for it. When they say his streams tripled when this case came out that he did this to this girl. Mm,
That just goes to show you. That just goes to show you what type of society we live in when we honor murderers, we honor rapists, we honor thieves, we honor people of ilk because controversy sells albums. Controversy controversy sells tickets. You can't have, it's because, the record industry, it's a demonic industry. Entertainment industry is a demonic industry.
Yeah, but that's what the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's been going on since the beginning of time, really. Since entertainment became what it is, because there's a lot of money at stake. Everybody, when you put money in front of everything, what are people going to gravitate towards? They're going to gravitate. A lot of people are going to gravitate towards the money because either A, they're in poverty, B, they don't want to be in a situation where they have to struggle. They rather sell their integrity, sell themselves to make it to quote unquote make it.
Oh, people?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know, in that book that I've read multiple times, and certain things I agree with, but a lot of it I don't. It said money is the root of all evil. But then again, the lack of money can also be lead to the root of all evil because you're going to do anything for it. So it's catch 22 at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's catch 22. Now, are you willing to sacrifice your morals just for $1?
A lot of people do.
Exactly. Exactly.
They used to teach that though in school. They used to teach that in the household. They used to teach that in school. They used to
Yeah.
teach that on the TVs. They used to teach the lawyer standards because it was what fueled the working class, and it divided the households, and it's what made you know the in my opinion the war against man and woman, a woman's role versus a man's role, and who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that,
Yep.
instead of partnership. They teach you teamwork in school. They teach you teamwork at work, but when you in the house you got a role, in a relationship you got a role to play. Like it's not a partnership. You partner up in class and you do things together. You partner up at work and you work on tasks together. You feel me? Sometimes you work by yourself, but for the most part, it's a partnership, teamwork, not just a role. I don't know. That's what I was saying.
No, you good.
You know the OJ song back in the day, money, 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 money,
Money is the
money.
root of all evil.
One thing we can count on Paul for is a good ad lib in a song every show. That's what they Paul gonna do is sing something. But let me tie in the next topic with this. Y'all can always come back to this particular topic. Um, so something I also wanted to get into was communication because I think it all kinds of ties together. Because one thing we are missing in every community is communication. So I want to go over. I'm just give a rundown of the different types of communication. You have interpersonal mass communication is one that I jotted down, and organizational communication. So I want to start with interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication, like the role of like nonverbal communication, like how body language, facial expressions, gestures impact interpersonal interactions. Also, this one is really important, and I want us to kind of dive into this one. Active listening. Explore the importance of listening skills and effective communication and relationship building. Conflict resolution is another great one. To analyze strategies for resolving conflict through effective communication techniques. Now, this one I think Q is going to love because he always goes to this one. Is mass communication, the impact of social media. We're going to dive into how social media platforms influence public opinion and interpersonal relationships. Then we also have media literacy. I think since we got Bosco up here, he joined us today. This one is a good one for him. Just the importance of understanding media messages and their efforts on society and also how they influence society. I'm gonna add that one in there because they didn't have that one in because media definitely influences how people perspectives are built. Then we have crisis communication, how we communicate during a crisis, and the effectiveness of the strategies that we come up with in those crises. Then we have the big one, not the big one, but the one I think Drew touched on is organizational communication. Like effective strategy on like virtually, like because we do everything online. We even have like doctor's appointments online. We do a lot of stuff. We meet online. Everybody have meetings, like we're going to get together even when we do FaceTimes. All of those are like virtual things. Then when it comes to leadership, how do you lead in certain dynamics of group settings? And then also this one for me is extremely important, and I'm learning, especially over the last 2 years, how crucial this one is. cultural diversity and communication, how cultural differences affect communication styles among people, not just organizations. So, who want to go into it?
I'll start. Because communication, that was my major when I was in college, mass communication, and I worked in radio for a year and realized how political it is and how much BS is behind it. That's why I didn't want to pursue it any further, because I just couldn't stomach the politics and the tap dancing, the shuffling aspect of it. But the communications, um, there's a book I tell people to read called Propaganda and Persuasion. I have that book. You can order that book from Amazon or eBay, and it gives you what the communication aspect of propaganda really is, how it's effective, how it's used in marketing, how it's used in um, pretty much everything that's going on today. The problem is, especially in today's world with social media, is that everybody parrots things. People parrot. No research, no logical thing. They go off of what such and such said without researching it themselves. Or they go off, they will follow that person because they're friends with that person. And they don't want to lose the friendship, the quote unquote friendship. Or they don't want to upset that person. So they just follow along and don't know what they're following. This is why people need to learn to think for themselves. We live in a world where people don't research anything. They just, and this is why the situation in this world, especially in this country, is where it is. Because people didn't follow, they didn't do their due diligence, they didn't do their research on this guy. And now you see what the fruit of that disaster is coming up with this country, why this country is in such disarray. If people learn that it's okay to agree to disagree, I think that's what they call it, right? Agree to disagree. If people learn to agree to disagree without getting offended, without getting upset, things would be a lot better. But people are so staunch in their stance and what they believe. And then I asked them, okay, if you believe in it so much, are you willing to die for it? Then they want to change the subject. I'm like, no, answer the question. If you believe in what you so-called believe in so wholeheartedly, are you willing to die for it? Muslims overseas, they're willing to die for what they believe in. That's how it's communicated to them. Here, not so much. Like I keep telling people in America ain't willing to die for anything. They're not. They're not about that life. You know what I'm saying? Now,
to the cultural diversity part, but
right.
then that's the whole different like moral belief and perspective. But I also think we also live in a time where people want to control how other people think in communication instead of actively listening to a person's perspective. Like you and I can have two totally different opinions on something. That doesn't mean my way of thinking is that's just my perspective. You don't know what my moral compass or belief is, but that can also be debated with research and certain things of scientific and proven facts. But just because I may not see something the same way that you do doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. And I think that's where a lot of communication efforts and things go wrong. and I get to agree to disagree, but also listen of understanding and not just from one lens. And a lot of people have have just have one track with mind or one track with I can't even get it out. One way of thinking.
Well, they listen to respond.
Outside of their own self.
They listen just to respond, not just to listen.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's the problem with Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They listening to respond. They see something. Oh yeah, I gotta respond to it. They get Twitter fingers. I gotta respond to it. Sometimes it's just best to just look at it and scroll up, scroll past it. If it doesn't pertain to you, then it doesn't pertain. But a lot of times people make it their business to jump in somebody else's business because, like you said, they want to control what that other person is thinking. That's what thought crimes is all about. That movie 1984 explained a lot. And that book 1984 explained a lot. George Orwell, for those who don't know. Okay. People need to learn sometimes to just shut up and not respond to every single stimulus that comes out.
Can you repeat that one again?
What, 1984?
No. Everything does not require.
Right. Everything does not require a response. Everything doesn't. If you feel that they are talking about you, sometimes it's not about you. They may be speaking in generalities, but if you respond to it like you feeling like you're personally being attacked, then of course there's a guilt complex behind what's being said, and you're telling on yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying? Telling on yourself at that point. This is why I half the time people they call me this, that, and the other. Like, then people don't even really know me like that. I just scroll up and I laugh about it because
People
they don't
know
really
a
know
version. They know a version of you. That's all you
No,
probably give them.
Yeah. They know a version of me. They know about, I say 1.5% of me. The other 98, they won't know until they actually meet me. Or for those who have met me, they were like, oh yeah, he's really like this. Boom, 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 boom. But what I am on social media is not far from what I am in real life. People and people, Bosco will tell you. Bosco has met me. He was like, yeah, Q, you met me, Coco. I'm the same way I am on here in real life and on social media. I'm loud. I can be obnoxious. I can be over the top a little bit, but I am who I am. I'm not going to change that because that's my personality. You know what I'm saying? Do I communicate well? I think I do. Do I say what I mean? Of course I do. If I mean to hurt somebody's feelings, I will hurt their feelings. I won't care because I'm going to give you what I call the truth serum. That's just who I am.
Okay, I've heard this statement before. Let's just dive into this because and don't take this. This is not towards you.
Nah.
I think sometimes when people think they're giving truth serums, they're also projecting ignorance because a lot of times in today's world, people, well, oh, I'm just being honest. I'm just telling you the truth. But then I think there's also a thing of tone and if it's the warranted space for it. Sometimes some things don't need to be said, but then it's also that response may have not been needed. And it's also how you deliver certain things. And I think sometimes we also live in a society where so people think ignorance is being truth. And that's not always the case. And sometimes it could be just a matter of perspective and conversation. And I think a lot of times people don't understand what conversation is. Conversation is you talk, you listen, and you have like understanding, or there's a verbal back and forth of cordial, I guess, respect. And then I think there are people who also just want to talk to be combative or to have that type of negative dialect where people think everything has to be like a confrontation, and it doesn't have to be.
No.
And society like that. Society like they like conflict. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you ever see the trolls. You feel me? It's like no people just take advantage of the opportunity to be able to troll the hell out of somebody, or um the council culture, for somebody to do something so that they can hurry up and try to counsel them through. Um, people hide behind this social media platform. You feel me? You get to put like a cape on for real. You get to be whoever you want to be, and some people take advantage of it. Because in their personal lives they have no control, no order, no structure. Some of them do. Some of them just bored. Some of them just sit around and bored. Some of the trolls, they like to they like to also brag on type of degree they got. They make six figures or this amount of money, and they work this job and they went to this school, but they are single, and a lot of them be single and miserable. And no
Or
shade to the single, no shade to the single community, but that's what I be knows. It be those ones, and then you get the couples on there. You got the certain ones, the ones getting on there and be embarrassing each other as a couple. But I mean, it be mainly like
or
them
you got those
freaking.
that brag about how smart they are, right? And I had to pull a friend to the side and say, if you got to brag on social media about how smart you are, you're really not that smart.
I thought social
And
media is supposed to be fun for real, like for you to connect with people that you ain't seen in a while. People take it so serious.
Haven't done
Sometimes I don't even be wanting to
nothing.
be on. I go on there just to post stuff,
yep.
and one time I had posted something just because I liked it, and I had some people calling my phone like, "Are you okay?" Oh, I'm fine. I just like the saying. Like you can't even just put nothing on there because people pour their heart out on there. And then that's another thing. I feel like this about social media. If a person is getting on there and pouring their heart out, stop telling them people stop. I get what y'all saying. Don't put your business out there. Yeah, I feel be limited, but you never know if that's the only means of let out that person has. And suicide is real. When people don't have nobody to talk to, sometimes that's all people have. The sad part is that you got too many people who just like utilize like social media in the wrong type of way. But man, some watch this mother who lost her son. I don't know if if I forgot her name, but the story itself, man, she lost her son, and man, I was so invested in her and in that, like I felt like the world will help her grieve. You feel me? And I see her; she's still going through her stuff. But and they was visiting, going to a cousin party in Atlanta. And imagine your kid supposed to be graduating. Y'all leave to go to a party, and y'all go to a party in another state, and then you coming home with your kid in the body bag. So I'm like, that lady was destroyed. And that was the first time I ain't really see too many people like, hey, don't do this on here. I see too many people talking, but that lady, man, she needed it. That was the first time I seen like social media become like at a time when somebody really needed it. Everybody usually make it seem like it's only like all people looking for attention, and this. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes like that's awareness too. You know.
I was just getting ready to say that. I think that's like a along the lines of awareness and like rallying for support during certain times. I think that when some people, when they put all of their business out there, and I'm talking about like any and everything that goes on in their life, but then soon as somebody comment, because we already set up here, people quick to troll people. When you put it out there, you open yourself up for public ridicule. Then when somebody say something, you all like mind your business. You just put it out here on social media for everybody to see. And I think those are the people mainly that people talk about when it's like, okay, you don't have to post everything. I mean, I've had friends and I'm like, did you really have to put that? Because sometimes how what you put out there is everything, and then people interpret that in a different way, and then now you upset because whether people in your DMs or people saying this, and then it come to you, now you mad, so now you back on social media and you beefing, and I'm like, but you put it out there, you can't get mad at other people, and I think that's where certain people,
Yeah,
because
you
I had
can't. Yeah, you
friends
can't
that
get mad.
and I've told I've had friends and I'm like, you don't have to put everything. They're like, you can't tell me. Okay, don't call me and tell me what somebody DM'd you because I'm hardly on there. And when I see certain stuff, I don't comment because I'm like, that ain't for me. And this is just, going off on the deep end or whatever have you be. But you're absolutely right. Some people that is their only outlet, but also be mindful. You can't control whatever people put in your comment section. You can't control
That
when
is
people
true.
hit them. You can't control what people take and repost, and then they might change your words up and make you look crazy because now you done put that out. There is
Yeah.
also certain
Well,
privacy. Now,
well,
the one thing about the lady, yeah, I do understand that, and I think I do see a lot of them where they do get the support and stuff like that. The real people. Then you had the ones that do it for fake sympathy, and they be taking somebody else's story. Not saying that that lady did it, but it's just a whole lot that come with that social media stuff.
yeah, they be the ones that make it bad for everybody though. It be y'all posers out here faking and fronting and out here y'all people be trying to skip and scam on somebody. Y'all be the ones making. They say it take one bad apple. It don't take one. It take a whole bunch of them, a whole shipment of bad apples. The whole shipment of bad apples, and we done had some shipments of bad apples for a while now.
Yeah,
Y'all been
but you
going
know
there
what
and
though?
doing crazy things.
The thing is, what social media has done, um, there were certain people who were already narcissists, and social media amplified the narcissism. I know people that post pictures of their food every day.
Yeah,
And I'm
I be
like,
forgetting to post. Wait, before you go any further, I be forgetting to post my food queue. You know why? Because I be hungry and I be ready to eat. So why am I taking a picture of some food?
right. And I'm like, and posting a picture of themselves every day, like 5, 6 times a day. I'm like, what, you gonna forget what you looked like 20 minutes ago? Why do you have to keep posting yourself? We know what you look like. They ask, how do I look? You look like yesterday. You look like the day before. You look like the week before, the month before, the decade before, the century before. You won't look any different. What, you got a new wrinkle you try to show off? No one cares. It's ridiculous. The narcissism, the level of social media has elevated the level of narcissism in people.
Not only that,
That's the only
ignorance,
exception that some
ignorance
people.
and hatred. Don't forget that. Don't leave out ignorance and hatred because it's
Yes,
definitely been brought out a whole lot of that.
yes.
Am I good point? But yeah, definitely don't forget that because without that, it wouldn't be a whole lot of narcissism. But hey, it's a bunch of ignorant people and they hate you. And sometimes you gotta just let them know in a polite way that you can find somebody else to play with. Sometimes you just gotta let them know. If you know that song, sometimes you gotta just let them know. So yeah,
I also
I'm
want to. I'm sorry. I just want to add something to the beginning of the show when we were talking about like the kids and the parenting, and I want to tie communication into that as well because I can definitely say when I was younger, you know how that sometimes they be like kids don't have a voice or they shouldn't speak, but me personally, I don't agree with that. The reason being is when you have a lot of parents that don't pay attention to their kids, especially when it comes to nonverbal communication, don't pay attention to when your child is behaving differently, acting differently, or they're a little bit more distant, or something, they may be dressing differently, hanging around different people. So when it comes to the nonverbal communication, as well as when your child is like talking to you or trying to tell you something and you shush them because you think you don't want to hear it, they could be really trying to tell you something that's important or something that's going on with them. You have a lot of kids that get bullied. You have a lot of kids that just go through a lot. Children go through a lot, whether it's in school, in the neighborhood, and in travels everywhere. And you have a lot of people or grown-ups who will shun kids away instead of actually listening to them. So the people who do listen to them sometimes give them the wrong advice, or they don't mean them any good. So I think it's important when we talk about the whole communication piece. When it comes to children, listen to them. I don't care how old they are, what's going on, and especially like and now I can speak well when I was young coming up. It was a whole thing of the children were pretty much seen, I heard.
Yeah. that's when I was growing up as a kid, um, I was part of that, children seen, not heard. Don't get involved in adult conversations. Um, when I used to come visit my cousins or whatever, and the adults were in the house playing cards like late at night, they sent us to bed early. Sometimes we sneak down and see what they were doing. They'd be, smoking cigarettes and playing cards, whatever, till like wee hours in the morning, and having that hustler's ear, ear hustling. But we don't dare repeat what we heard to our parents or to the adults that were taking care of us. We don't dare do that. And that's supposed to be between them. Nowadays, um, parents, it's unfortunate that parents are being these kids' friends. They're telling all their business to the kid. Kid goes back running, having a running mouth syndrome, and all of a sudden, everybody in the neighborhood know everybody's business. Miss Mabel slept with Tony, um, and Tony slept with Doug, and Doug out here got that bug and all of this. You see what I'm saying? That's just an example. And kids shouldn't have to grow up knowing adult business, but we live in a time where it's inevitable where it's going to happen. I mean, look at what's being programmed on TV. All the adult content. Back in the day, it used to be you saw nudity, they'd either blur it out or they skip the scene altogether. Now it's just blatant. It's in your face.
Yeah, but
That's
you
right.
have a and parent, you have children and adults making content together, so that's
Yeah,
also another piece. So
that
I mean,
part.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. That's like it's like a slippery slope because I do see some parents with their kids doing like educational things, whether it could be reading, whether it could be some type of like what's the word, arts and crafts or something like that. I think that's cool. I actually like to see that, and that's also like a good bonding thing, and it can also show like a healthy relationship and give parents ideas of what to do with their children instead of just like watching TV. I know like my daughter, she's great with like arts and crafts ways, so they have time where there's no TV, no nothing, and they make stuff. They use their mind. They get creative. Whether it's painting, whether it's building, whether it's something, and then she makes them read books. you know, my grandson the same way. So it's just like I think it all depends. Like some of the younger people, I think they are breaking some generational curses that we couldn't. So I'm not going to say that it's all bad. I think some of it is actually good. But I think I'm not trying to consistently switch the gears, but I think a lot of the miscommunication comes from mainly a lot of the freaking adults, and you see a lot of relationships get tarnished from simple miscommunication.
People gotta listen. That's one thing that you very seldom find nowadays is people to be quiet and listen to what someone else has to say. Seems like a whole lot of people want to be heard, but they don't realize in order for them to be heard, then everybody gotta keep being quiet. But then also in order for them to be heard, they have to be quiet themselves so they can hear. It's a crazy game. It's a real crazy game. And some people don't know how to play the game.
You know what annoys me? You know what grinds my gears? I hate when should I go ahead? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't care. We talking about communication. When you try to talk to somebody, or and you have and you could do exactly that. You can hear them out. You can hear everything they say, take it into perspective. Try to gain understanding. But when it's you, the first thing they think they disagree with, they don't listen to your complete thought and they just go off the deep end and be loud and freaking wrong. That bothers that's I don't maybe I know I'm getting old, but a lot of things that I usually can just be like, it gets on my nerves and I don't want to deal with it. And it's like sometimes some people only can consider their own feelings or their own way of thinking. And when you are being expressive, it's it's not taken into consideration or it's not reciprocated. And a lot of times in communication, things are reciprocal. And people just don't get that. But it bothers me, like to my core.
because people don't like to read. That's just like that post I shared today when I said I had $700 worth of food stamps. I was gonna sell them for 200 and something dollars. And then they went on blah blah blah, and I said, "Hey, I need the money now. I don't need no dollar less, and da da da, and all that." Then they read our way through and say, "Hey, this you will not be getting no fish, no shrimp, no nothing because I just got you like somebody got me. Have a nice day." Well, I'm not gonna be on no doggone social media trying to sell no doggone food stamps. Pay attention. People don't like to read. That's why it's so hard for people. They can take in a little something and run with it before reading everything.
Who is selling food stamps on social media?
That's what they was thinking. Some people said, "Well, you know, you can't be doing that. That's against the law." I said, "Well, maybe you should read the whole. You should read the whole post." I'm saying people will not read. People will read what they see or see what they see and go with that. Read. You gotta read everything that's wrote. That's how we get screwed out of stuff because people do not read the whole entire contract. If you're gonna read something, read it. Don't play with it because you're gonna get out there in that water and not know what you're talking about if you
especially the
don't understand it. Go ahead.
especially the fine print. But to Drew's point, there are people that sell a lot of stuff online. You'd be surprised how blatant some people be when they get cut, they don't know why. Because you're
Inbox me.
you're facing them
Inbox me
right.
if you are. Inbox me.
But
Throw that about there.
no. All right, so all right, quick story time. I think I want Paul to go first. I know you got a good one. Share a time that you had a conversation. It could be with a person, group of people, anybody, where um there may have been some miscommunication or conflict, and how did you resolve it?
Hmm.
Who?
I'm about to say, I know you ain't quiet now.
Probably, I would probably say one of the city council members and getting on them in the spot. I had to share something with them in front of everybody else that was there because this person had the nerve, the audacity to vote, pass a vote for the legacy neighborhoods to be aware of anything, any kind of changes going on in North residents, sound ordinance, anything. They had the right to know about that before you implement any kind of thing like that. So he voted and they passed that. So the people from the legacy neighborhoods, they leave out. They leave out of city council. Okay, so no sooner about what 15 minutes after they gone, he wants to call that back to a vote and say that he wants to change his vote. Okay, so now with him changing his vote and did whatever they blah, 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 they did, then they went against the legacy neighborhoods. They ended up with the majority vote. So I got a chance to call him to his face in front of all them people, a flip flopping flipper, because that's what you are. You're a backstabbing, no good person. Then you got nerve to act like you represent the black community. You don't even know nothing about the black community. You up here fronting. ever since that time, the mayor has started reading a decorum for the way that we had to speak. We cannot speak towards individual members of city council. When I look at that chart of the way that the thing flows for city government, it's the residents, and then it's the city council, and then it's all the people up underneath city council. So no, you need to start reading the decorum for the city council. Don't read that for me. Read that for yourselves. Because y'all work for us. And that's what y'all done forgot. Y'all, yeah. That's when I really had, that's how I dealt with that, by telling them to their face. I'm always going to be telling people to their face. I'm not with that backstabbing and all that soft tap dancing, talking to people. I'm not with all that. I'm going to tell you straight how it is. That's it. You can say, like Q said, some truth serum. I'm always going to have the truth for you. You can take it as serum, or you can take it as venom, or you can take it how you want to take it. But you're not going to get no BS from me, because I'm going to tell you I'm going to be me. That's one thing. And I don't care who these people might think they are. I know who I am. So yeah, that's how I dealt with that. Hey.
I mean, on my half, had an ex-affiliate of mine. You know, he was one of the people who helped start the whole Giants groups with me. Back in the day. But come to find out, he was really a snake, because he called me one day and said somebody wanted to jump me. And I'm like, who? Who was trying to get at me? I ain't scared of anybody. I don't do anything to anybody. Somebody don't like me, they can come up to me and say, hey, I don't like you. Let's talk about it. Boom, boom, boom. I'd be like, hey, let's talk about it. So I kept asking him. I said, hey, man, who is this? Who are these people that you claim is going to jump me? He would never give me names. He would say, but they were in the building when you were in there. So I'm sitting here trying to get the information out of him. He would never tell me. So then I sit down with myself. I say, if he's telling you this but not giving any names, it's probably him. Probably the person that's closest to you. At that time, we were pretty close. And you know what they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So my conflict resolution, once I figured out it was him, just cut him off, because he's not a friend at that point. He's not a friend. I ceased communication with him. So he kept asking people, hey, where's Q at? Where's Q? Q don't mess with you no more. Because number one, when I asked you several times who or what group was trying to jump me, because me, I don't care. We could talk about it. We could do what we gotta do. I got weaponry, and I ain't afraid to use my weaponry. We can talk about it, or we can get down with weaponry. I'm not afraid to use a weapon.
Always want to be violent.
No, because I have that type of mind, because as a kid, right, as a teenager, I had guns pointed to my head, and I had a friend of mine at that point. I don't know, he was on drugs or whatever, and I think he was. You know, he pointed a gun to my head, and I told him to pull the trigger, pull it. He didn't do it. He did not do it. You know what I did to him after that? I beat his you-know-what senseless. Because I feel like if you're going to pull a gun on somebody, you better use it. It's not a toy. It's not a game out here. It's not a game. That's why I'm the way I am. I'm very protective over myself when it comes to people want to try to, I'm going to jump you. Oh, okay, you going to jump me? Let's go. I'm ready to go. Moment's notice, I'm ready to go. But one thing about me, there ain't no rules in the street. I don't fight fair. I ain't going to put my fist up. Now I'm just going to pick up a brick and hit you upside the head with it and knock you out. And try to teach you a lesson. Because I don't believe in rules in the street fight. There are no rules in the street fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get down.
That's how you
That's
get
why.
down, huh?
That's how I get down. I don't like all that tough talk. Hey, I'm gonna beat you. You know what? And then all of a sudden, hey, how you doing? That's how a lot of these social media people are. Talk tough online. When you meet them, hey man, can we take a picture? I'm like, nah. Let's talk about taking what you got. Hey, how you doing? Want to shake your hand and all this? I'm like, nah, I ain't shaking your hand. We ain't friends.
Jerry, what's yours?
What? That's how where I had to use conflict resolution.
Yes.
Uh, I don't know which one to pick from. Let's say today. Today I was asked a question about no, I ain't gonna use that because that's not right. I was in the store and I don't like going to Walmart and them no more, because everything is locked up. Like everything is just locked up. And I was in Walmart and I was trying to get pack of beaters for my girlfriend. And it took me like 20 minutes to find one associate to get one pack of beaters. And then not to mention these beaters is like $20 a pack for like 6. Y'all got them locked up. I get that. But 3 people ain't have a key. And then when the person finally did come, he's like huffing and puffing and rushing. So I asked him, I said, "Would you ain't feel like coming to work today?" He's like, "No, I mean, I don't agree with them locking everything up, but people keep coming in here and stealing." I said, "I agree too, you feel me? But I think that they need a better system. Maybe y'all need to get together and, talk to, somebody. I don't know. But y'all way out here in the county. This is the first county store I've been to where it's locked up like this. It's usually on the county line. This new. This mean crime starting to go, further out. But I needed these beaters. So we getting the beaters, whatever. And then came to I wasn't finished shopping. So he took my stuff up to the front. He took my stuff to the front. I'm finished shopping about like 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour later. I'm in Walmart. Everybody know how Walmart go. I get up to the register. Why they didn't put my beaters there? I'm in line. The lady telling me like, "Well, I can print you a receipt and you go over the customer service, but somebody gonna have to get you beaters." I took a deep breath because I almost wild Walmart the out. I almost showed my royal black in Walmart.
They'll take you there. Walmart would definitely take you there. I hate going to Walmart.
I don't like going to Walmart. It ain't even about the customer service. I already know I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna deal with some Getrifity and some Audacity, some Getrafity. I'm gonna deal with all that long lines, delayed stuff all over the place, people stealing. Them asking me.
Do you ever go in there and you in a department, right? Say for instance, like you in the electronics department. That's the department I visit the most, right? And there's an associate there, and you ask them, where can you find such and such?
Wait,
And
before we go there, let me finish
yeah,
telling you. So I stand in line. I told her, I'm not getting out of line. I searched for somebody for 20 minutes to open up the thing. We got the stuff. He told me he could not give it to me. He brought it up here. It should have been at the register. I stood in line and I waited until they found somebody. And it took like another 20 minutes for them to find somebody. But I would not move the fuck out of line. So excuse me, I'm sorry for cussing. So more of the story is, I don't really know how, it depends on the situation or how, how I'm going to handle the conflict. Because if I wasn't in the county, I probably would have wowed them out. I would have made that lady bring up everything and just walk out. But now that I know they just void the receipt, I mean, like just void the receipt and void the whole. It ain't no point. I gotta make you work when you want to make me work. 20 minutes. I say all that to say I don't know how to deal with conflict resolution, especially when dealing with Walmart, because people steal too much, and now we gotta wait 20, 25 minutes for simple things for them to get face wash, body wash, underclothes. Like all this stuff is like things that used to be able to go in Walmart and pick up is locked up there. I don't know no conflict resolution. I'm just
Now, how about well, why is it that when you go to Walmart, right, and you go to a section that you're trying to get whatever, huh?
I said keep it at a minimum. We run out of time. I think if Bosco might sleep, he gotta go next, and then me.
Right. Now, just this scenario. I'm gonna give you this scenario. And the person that's there at that station, you ask them about where can I find such and such. The person says, "Well, I don't work. This ain't my station." Well, what are you doing there then? What are you doing there? Why are you there? You standing around gossiping, talking. I'm thinking that you're working in this station. Well, I work in sporting goods. Well, why don't you have your, over in sporting goods? Why are you over here in electronics? It makes me want to slap the out of them.
There we go. Bosco, is you sleep? Or maybe I gotta unmute him. He done probably went to sleep. I can't unmute him. He done went to sleep. So, all right. Okay. So I'm gonna go. Conflict resolution with communication. I'm gonna use it in a different way than you guys. I'm gonna go with the getting to know. So, there was a gentleman I was getting to know, and I unmuted you. Fool was saying that you put yourself on mute. Unmute yourself. He gonna text me something.
Oh, my bad. No, I didn't know. My bad. I thought you put me on mute. Now I was listening because I like, well, she got me on mute, so I'll just chill. My thing about communication is, I'm like, I'll talk to you, but if you
That's
what?
not what I said. That's not what we
I
on
know,
now.
but I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to respond.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm saying, it's gonna be brief. My thing is the communication. I'll try with you. If you don't want to communicate, then bye. That's it. That's it. Now,
See,
what's the subject?
that's how I know you wasn't listening. I said, give us a
Well,
time where
I know I didn't.
the
I didn't want to take up time. That's why I said I'll just be brief.
oh no,
Because I don't.
you got to give me the situation
Oh,
where they
okay.
doing like some kind of where there was miscommunication and you had to
Okay.
use conflict resolution.
Okay. Let's do that. It's with the music. I've had situations where people that didn't know the concept of putting things together, music together, they thought it was just you just make a beat and be at it, and that's it. And I told them, no, it takes more than just that. We have to we have to coordinate things to sound, because you may have a sound I'm not accustomed to doing, da 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 da. But they was pretty much saying, hey, you just make a beat, da da da. And I said, no, my name is on this. So I need to make sure this is right. And then after a while, I started showing them examples about like how Big Daddy Kane had said, you know, he thought everybody was just whack because of the music he was making and people just not feeling it. Well, he realized he had to listen to the producer and say, no, it's not the music you're listening to, it's your style. You got to change up. And you have to listen to the people who's producing you and not thinking that just because you're a rapper, you know everything. And that's how I was. And I had people who just didn't get on. I said, look, I can't work with you. I don't like confusion. I know my job. I know what I'm there for. And you can't tell me how to do my job if you came to me to do it because you don't know how. So, yeah, that's it.
So I guess I'm gonna be the only kind of messy one. Okay, well I'll take it. Um, so I'm gonna use mine. I was starting it off. So getting to know this guy, whatever. You know, you really like somebody, y'all getting to know each other, all this good stuff. I'm very inquisitive. I ask questions, and I think part
Yeah.
of getting to know and understanding is to ask questions. So, I was told. So you know how people
Uh,
express themselves or their disdain with you or what they dislike. So one of
yeah.
the things was that they felt I was always trying to analyze or be or like psychoanalyze them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay. So, but listening, right? I
Uh,
said, okay. So we had this conversation where as though, okay, you could tell me the things that you feel like is an issue. So, you know, I always say, okay, you can go. I can receive that because sometimes perception is everything and what you project could be I may not know what I'm doing wrong, right? So okay, cool. So he went down the line of all of this stuff, and then sometimes every time I say something, you gotta come back with something or like a correction. So my response was, okay, that's partially true. I am
hmm
analytical, but if
hmm
I don't understand something or something don't make sense to me, I do have a habit of asking questions. Would you like
Right.
for me to not ask questions when it don't make sense to me? Or
Right.
you know whatever, right? So I just thought like, I mean, no, you can say what you want to say, but I mean, damn, every time it's just da 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 da. Cool, bet. So it was my turn, right?
Yeah.
So I went into the lack of communication on this person's part, and that every time we have a conversation, it shouldn't be combative. It shouldn't be an argument, right? That turned into an argument. Now, mind you, you heard how everything that was on me, the whole psychoanalyzing people and all of this stuff was a thing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I said, this is going left. I said, how about we come back another time where we can, where level heads on, we can talk about it. That's what we're talking about right there. You can't tell me when to go. Okay. Okay. So that was my response. Oh, okay. Me, I let everybody know when things start to go left, I'm going to get quiet. I can't engage like that because now we don't hear each other.
Right.
Just going into this whole thing. So we took a break. we took a break. So then when it came back around, it was almost like the same thing. But what what I came up with is you want me to believe what's not believable.
Right.
Is what I meant when certain things don't make sense. So you see some people who just talk and talk, and some stuff just sounds so flabbergasted and overly exaggerated. So I will be like say for instance, you could say, "Oh, I was doing 200 down the highway and they couldn't catch me." You was doing 200, really? You know, so I'm. That's when my questions come.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, how that happened?" And you know, all of this stuff just happened during this time and this high speed. Or I'm just giving an example, right? So when I say certain things are unbelievable, the issue was you were lying.
Yeah.
And the fact that I would ask questions where it was not making sense. And I tend to think that I have common sense. But you can't expect of me to not believe something. And if I'm unsure and I need a little bit of clarity, I don't think there's anything wrong with questions. But then if
Right.
I get quiet and I don't say anything, then that's the problem too. So my conflict resolution was trying to explain my style of communication and to gain some type of knowledge of this person. And with that is I understand I just don't sometimes you just don't mesh well with people.
Say, hit the road, Jack.
That
Don't
part.
you come back
And
no
so
more.
right. So my conflict resolution in that situation was to back away. So then I can give one more example really quickly. The other example, same thing as y'all know, I'm dating, or I'm not saying but not, just one a situation and tone. is everything. I don't like when people, well, if we're communicating, your tone is off with me, and I ask you to adjust your tone. That means I'm feeling offended. And you can say anything you want to me, just watch your tone. But if I'm expressing myself and you negate my feelings, but I'm being understanding of yours, we have a problem. So sometimes I think with conflict resolution, there is no resolution. Sometimes you just have to remove yourself. But on a professional level of conflict resolution, there are times where some things just can't be done and there's a lack of understanding. And when we talk about roles, some people, if you are used to doing a particular thing, and there are other things behind the scenes that sometimes some people have to deal with. So if you come to me, let's say I'm gonna use Q. Q come to me and say, "Oh, Chanel, we need X, Y, and Z, this, that, and third, and this, so and so and so." And I might say, "Okay, we can't get X, Y, and Z, but I can get you RSTUV." Now you mad because I can't get X, Y, and Z. Now, mind you, there could be budgeting issues, or it could be a thing of we don't need it. So what I've learned to do is sometimes give a minimal, not extensive, but minimal breakdown of understanding. Because sometimes some people just don't know, I've learned over the years that a lot of times the miscommunication comes from lack of understanding, and sometimes people don't want to ask questions or don't know how to ask the right question to understand. So I just go the extra mile sometimes and just be like, and I'll give a breakdown, and sometimes that can resolve the whole thing because sometimes not knowing leads people to assume. And I say that to say when people assume certain things, it's because they really don't know. And then when we think people know, they don't. And Q looking serious. Who he about to beat up?
What?
You had the serious look on your face.
No, I mean,
That was
yeah,
deep. That was deep,
yeah,
deep,
yeah.
deep.
It's conflict resolution. Yeah, I'm guilty of not doing that because um I don't like people BSing me, and I can
First,
sniff out BS.
first of all, I'm always calm. I don't like arguing because I know me. I'm a Gemini, and I know me. I don't get. First of all, I'm not gonna get upset. Some things are just not worth my energy. I'm too old. Two, it's too much up. I got bigger fish to fry than worry about somebody getting in their feelings trying to have an argument with me, especially
Hmm.
if it's not worth it or if there's no type of resolve. And it's mainly because, like, if me and Q get into a disagreement, right? And if I hear Q, and if let's say Q hear me out, but then as soon as it's Q turn to give his spill, and I go, oh no, 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 and I ain't even hear you out. Where are we going with that? It's going nowhere. So yes, I'm a bounce.
Uh,
I'm gonna go
I
out of the
got
way.
I got a
So when they say
question.
that, I'm not gonna jack nobody up. I'm gonna just walk away. What's up?
Yeah.
I got a question. What's the definition of an argument? Because you feel me, like not everybody is arguing. Sometimes a person can just have an opinion, and because the person have an opinion, people feel like they're arguing, but they have an opinion about a situation.
I can answer that. I looked it up. Let me tell you. An argument.
Yes, Coco, tell me.
Okay. And- I'm all like,
What? Well, what's the
okay.
difference? What's the difference between an argument and a debate?
Oh,
Oh, hold
oh,
on, hold
Yeah, yeah.
y'all know I love research. Okay, let's answer Jude's question first. Okay, an argument. An argument is a set of statements, premises designed to provide reasons to support a conclusion aiming to persuade, justify, or explain a viewpoint. Its purpose is to demonstrate the truth, validity, or acceptability of a claim through logical reasoning. Key components include a clear, calm, supporting reason, evidence, and underlying assumptions. I tried to tell somebody that, and I'm glad you asked that because now we can put it out on the board. Now, what you had said, Q, you want to know the debate? 1 second, please. Hold on.
What's the difference between an argument and a debate?
Okay, debate. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, ready? Debate. A debate is a structured, formal discussion or contest of ideas between opposing sides, pro and con, regarding a specific topic, often involving a moderator, an audience designed to persuade or explore an argument. It acts as the method for critical thinking and decision making, emphasizing logic and evidence based data. There we go. Boom.
I feel like I've been doing a little mixture of the two based on the definition. You know, I'm guilty of doing a little mixture of the two. I'm grown enough to say that. I think sometimes I'm the problem in the middle of communicating.
But do you,
But
you know it's a way to effectively there's a way to argue in a healthy way. And people don't believe that it is, but it is.
you want to know how I know that is the truth? Because at work, right, I took a course called "Working with You is Killing Me." They had it at class. They had it at work so that you can learn how to deal with upper management and problem situations. I took it a couple of years ago. My supervisor actually
You know,
suggested that I took it. That was
who
crazy. That
outside?
was the crazy part.
Who outside? Jude.
Yeah, I'm outside. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, no, you good. Go ahead.
I
Oh,
went. I
she.
went mute. I went mute.
Oh, I wanted you to finish though. I just say no. I'm trying to mute everybody. Go ahead.
Uh, yeah. I'm sorry. They are saying hi because they all think they was tuning in with us.
Hey y'all.
Uh, uh, but yeah, what was I saying? I'm sorry, you threw me off a little bit.
Healthy argument.
You said the argument.
Healthy argument.
Um, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Coco. Damn, my bad.
No, it's okay. Well, anyway, we're coming to a close. Anybody got any final thoughts? Everybody off mute. Anybody got any final thoughts?
Yeah. As for argument and debating, I think it kind of all ties into what you said at the beginning of the show about communication. And I think Q said a point about people listen to have a response, but not listen to listen. And I think, and what we said I remember on a show about a year ago, we spoke about algorithms. Algorithms is one of the problems because, if you keep clicking on one certain thing, that's all you're going to see. And I think because of the algorithms, people see what they want to see, but they don't see what they need to see. And with um, social media has made it easy for people, and this is just a repeated thing, made it easier for people to be bullies and everything else because you know what they say on social media. And that's part of communication. What they say on social media, they know they would not say to anyone's face. Now, I understand in situations where you're afraid to say something because, you're just scared to speak up about a certain issue or whatever. But you do have those who say stuff just to, like Jude said, just to troll, just to say stuff to get shit started.
Yeah, they instigate.
Yeah, and I think that goes with the algorithms because those are the same people who have their algorithms set to one certain thing. So that's what they believe. So that's what they want to believe. Then they become bullies,
I
and
remember
that's
what I
all.
was ready to say, y'all. I was
Hmm.
ready to say I took a class, right? Uh, because at work I didn't know how to talk because I got a little hood. Y'all can tell I got some hood in me, a lot of hood for real, right? But outside of that hood, I am very professional. They taught me how that regardless of what you're going through, and regardless of how what type of environment you're in, there are certain ways for you to be able to deal with conflict. You can tell somebody, you better get the out my face, but without saying you better get the out my face. You
Right.
feel me?
Right. Yeah.
It's just all about language for real. I mean, I like how he was like, he's the same person on social media as I'm the same person always, but you gotta know which room to be in and which part of which you to turn on. You feel me? And that goes with dealing with conflict too. You feel me? Not every conflict requires you to get all loud, rowdy, and yah and rah rah. I'm sorry for the background, y'all. Loud, rowdy, and rah rah. Sometimes you gotta, take a deep breath, look at a situation dead in the eye, and deal with that like a boss, like a grown person. Put your pride to the side. You ain't always gotta show everybody that you're the toughest. Sometimes silence is the best, and using your assertiveness instead of your aggressiveness speak way more volumes than anything.
Yeah,
Very
you know what
true.
they say, those silent people, you gotta watch out for them people.
But silence is powerful. People don't understand that there's power in the tongue, but there's also power in silence. Like, and that whole everything doesn't need to be said is a true statement. But with that being said, we are coming to a close, and I appreciate everybody up here. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Q. Big Bosco from the Bronx joined
Duke.
us tonight. Also, shout out to Daytrick, shout out to Fallon, J Bear, Dion, Richie. I forgot who else was in here. But to everybody who tuned in, commented on the show, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys Monday at 8 p.m.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let me give a shout out to Bosco and Kamiko. All right,
You got one.
Bosco.
Yo.
Bosco, no, I love Kamiko.
I know. All right, we out, y'all.